What's going on, friends and family? My name is Skylent, and today we're going to be talking about the top-selling, massively multiplayer online games on Steam currently, right now, the top sellers, okay? So, hot topics here about MMOs as well as the popular MMOs. But we are looking on Steam specifically because some people just really freaking love downloading games on Steam for a number of reasons, but whatever. And also, Steam is a good show of literal popularity, okay? So then we can actually track the stats of these MMOs, at least being launched from Steam, and then see their popularity. So it is a good show of what games are pretty good. However, is it a good show of what MMOs are actually good, even though we're literally searching for massively multiplayer? See, that's the gimmick of the video, guys, and that's why we're doing it in this sort of way here. Then in this procedure that we're going to go through here. It's live, so I'm recording this live, and I'm just going to be reading down the list of what Steam has for the top-selling massively multiplayer games. So as you can see, no, this is not a literal top 10 list like my other ones, and I love top 10s. I do because I like showing you guys literally the games, the specific games I want to broadcast, but also it's kind of used as a commentary on some genres or some of the video game and the overall community, the gaming community's terminology and how we share games, stuff like that. And this is going to be very specifically mostly a commentary. So here we go, guys. We're just going to go down the list, 10 here, and we're going to actually, I'm going to ask you guys, is this actually an MMO? And also if it's good or not. Okay, so first off, we have PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. If I'm not mistaken, it is capped to 100 players. And this is going to be similar to number 2's H1Z1 King of the Kill. Now, these are lobbied games, okay? These games are Battle Royale games. You should be aware of what they entail. 100 people jump into an instance lobby, and they duke it out until just one remains, and then that's it. Everything gets reset, and you jump into a new lobby, okay? But here's the thing, is that the very first graphical MMO had 50 players. Now, it later was raised, and it ended with, at one time, I think, for a server, 2,000 players consistently. I believe, in a single instance, 2,000 players were able to play. Which, that sounds massive, but in between 50 and 2,000 is a lot of give. So when does a game become massively multiplayer? Now, my argument is that it needs a layer of persistence. So if everything is completely instanced and you jump out of a map, and you're going through these different instances, and you do have, armors that you're taking between different lobbies, you do have progression, and you actually can influence people that come after you, or, people that come before you when you jump into an instance can influence you. To me, that's an MMO. It can be broken up by instances, but if it's wholly lobbied, like many online action RPGs, or like these games, these Battle Royale games, then that's the genre that they have. I would not say it's an MMO. But moving on, we have Elder Scrolls Online, guys. Actually, it's taken 2 spots here, but we're going to just count it as one. Elder Scrolls is really popular. It's popular on PC. It's also pretty popular on consoles, and I feel like it's a decent game regardless of where you play it. It really feels like it was only slightly hindered by the concept of actually putting it on consoles, but for the most part, wholly, it still feels like a very grand and massive, well, massively multiplayer online game. Absolutely. There's just a lot of loading screens, but, it still has that layer of persistence, and it's good to go, in my opinion, for MMOs. But here we go. Elder Scrolls Online, it is really popular. Next, we have Ark. So, Ark Survival Evolved, as well as Conan Exiles. Now, these open-world survival games, these titles, in my opinion, have very much the potential to be truly considered MMOs. Really, the only thing that's stopping them, like, they even have RPG mechanics. So the people that think MMO is short for MMORPG, no, these games could very well be MMORPGs. They simply lack, in a lot of ways, just really the players. The players, they're broken up into too many different servers. You don't have as many as I would consider massive on one server. But then again, the first MMO, the graphical MMO that is, started out with 50 players. And I think some of these servers can jump up higher than that. I think they can have more than 50 players consistently. So that's where it starts to become a little bit debatable. Then again, the word massive is not a specific number. It's not like a dozen, right? It's in relation to, I guess, the average. It's something that's massive is more heavy than what is average. It is more than what is average. So if we say the average game nowadays has more players like these, then instead of being 50, then maybe an MMO should require 100 players in an instance, or maybe even up to 2,000 now. Who knows? But anyways, these games, I think they have potential to be considered MMOs, and at one time, I actually put Ark on an MMO list when I first started out. I got a lot of hate for that, but I don't know. I think a lot of people can join servers and play persistently. There's RPG mechanics. There is the layer persistence. And I think if you just had more players, these could be MMOs. So I'm not too, like, the difference here is that these completely instanced. These, though, they do have that persistence. Now, they do have a limit, I believe, on some server caps, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm not so, even if these are technically not MMOs, I'm not so, I guess, kind of offended that they showed up here this time. So yeah. Then we have Arc, Conan is very similar, and we have Elite Dangerous. Now, I own Elite Dangerous, the arena version, so I don't know what is outside of the arena version personally, but it's supposed to be an open space exploration kind of game. I don't know how instant it is, I don't know how massive the game feels, or what the reality is like. So I'm going to really need your thoughts and opinions on that, and if I should purchase the just whole game, because I only have the combat arena version. We have Final Fantasy XIV Online, and I think in a previous video I said that, is it really an MMO? I think it is an MMO, even though it's heavily instanced. It appears that only the very beginning of the game is incredibly instanced, and in the maps later on, once they dropped support for PS3, they expanded a lot of the levels and everything, or the instances. So it seems like, yeah, it is definitely a proper MMO. But for like my first impressions, you really don't feel the massivity. But yeah, it's an MMO. We've got okay, what? Shell Shock. Am I confused here, guys? Am I confused? Is Shell Shock not a lobbied game? I thought it was lobbied. Is this not? How is this an MMO? Well, I thought it was like a 4-player game. Is this an MMO? Because I'm thinking it's not really an MMO, guys. It looks like a fun game, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. It's got some Worms inspiration, a little bit of tanks inspiration, but I don't think it's a massively multiplayer online game. Now, I haven't played it, so I don't know, but is it? Let me know. I could be wrong. H1Z1, there's an argument to be had. There's a persistent world. You can jump in, jump out. There is, you know, you can actually acquire items and lose items, of course, absolutely. But I think really what's holding it back is the player count, you know, in the servers. I guess, you know, I think if we could have this genre and have it cross 100 players per server consistently, you know, just have, you know, servers have more than 100 players, I think that's probably where people would be like, yeah, that's an MMO. That's considered an MMO then. DayZ, similar. It's so similar to an MMO aside from it being truly massive. Like, I think 100 is the number. I mean, that's me. If I had to draw a line in the sand, it'd be 100. I actually got a video explaining why 100, really. Life is Feudal Your Own is actually self-proclaimed not an MMO. This is the non-MMO version of a game that they're building. They actually are creating an MMO version of this game. So that's funny that this kind of showed up because it's self-proclaimed not an MMO. Kingdom of Loot apparently is a top seller here recently. Kingdom of Loot. What is Kingdom of Loot? It's an action RPG. It's an action RPG. It literally says action RPG. Wait, it says MMO online co-op, but this is, if I'm not mistaken, this very much looks like yeah, look, there's a 1 to 5 player parties. Is that really an MMO? It might have, hey, it might have open world instances. It might, so I don't know. It's actually a pretty cheap game. I don't know what the player count is, but you know, at first glance, it looks like an action RPG, not really an MMO. But then again, apparently, Lost Ark is coming out, and that's gonna have MMO elements. So we'll have to see. Tower Unite is a casual game that has open lobbies, but you mostly go into mini games, if I'm not mistaken. So is it really massively multiplayer if you're just sitting in a lobby? Then again, there are MMOs that are completely social-based, where essentially it's just one giant open lobby, like a massive lobby, but it also holds a massive amount of players. So I don't know, man. Flight Simulator is Flight Simulator is multiplayer? Can you actually have like a massive amount of people flying in this game with Flight Simulator? I literally don't know. It says multiplayer, but I don't know why it's showing up for MMOs. So yeah, top sellers, massively multiplayer. Just wanted to double check that we are actually there. Dragon Ball Xenoverse, huh? Is this not just a fighting game? At most 2v2? Are you serious? I don't, it says MMO, it says co-op, online co-op. I mean, again, I'm coming into a lot of games because normally I play specifically MMOs, and this list is kind of showing me a whole lot of games that I have never heard talked about in the MMO space. And I dive, dude, I dive. I go into deep and looking for these new games for you guys. I don't know, maybe I just missed it, but yeah. Town of Salem isn't that whole survival thing, just really, you know, the player count, what is the server player count? The Isle was so cool, dude. I don't care. I think it's got mixed reviews now, or negative reviews. I liked it, dude. It's basically a bunch of dinosaurs. It's still, again, the whole open world survival thing, It's really only limited by its server player count, but if it reached over 100, that would be it, dude. That would be it, really. We have miscreated, and as you see, a lot of DLCs. We also have Creativerse, the DLC for that. That's a pretty hot thing right now. Creativerse is just like Minecraft, and Minecraft absolutely has the full potential to be an MMO. There are literal MMO servers on Minecraft, uncontestedly thousands of players playing. That is an MMO. And that is all in the same instance as well. And there is persistence between even the different mini games that you can play in them too. So there are MMO RPG servers on Minecraft. So Creativerse absolutely has that potential. I haven't seen that potential like I have in Minecraft, but yeah, I mean, sure, why not? And what is Out of Reach? What is this game? This game it's pirate survival. I have actually never heard. So it has area control, so you actually control different areas. You're a castaway stranded in the middle of nowhere. Is it really multiplayer, online, co-op, MMO? Potentially. I don't know what the server limit is, but I mean, if there's actual territories you can control and area control, make a clan, conquer islands, sure, why not? It's probably going to fit into the open world survival genre, but again, just the player count is really, just the only thing stopping it. And at the same time, man, I don't know. Anyways, oh yeah, here's one of those games I was talking about, guys, where it's just a giant social lobby, a forum in games clothing. Like, you just walk around, I think. I'm not really sure what the actual game is, but for the most part, you make a creature, and you're I don't know if it's even a proper survival game like the original Shelter series is, but you just kind of walk around, and you explore the world, and you kind of just talk in chat, and that's what it really is. And actually, a lot of people kind of like it. As you can see here, some people enjoy this game. It's pretty cheap, too, and I personally actually do own Meadow, so that's pretty cool. So anyways, yeah, actually, the dinosaur game I was talking about was very similar to that as well. What's Hellion? It's space, simulation, mixed reviews, online multiplayer MMO. Is this kind of like, what Star Citizen wants to be? It actually kind of looks like that, kind of Star Citizen-y. It's probably a rushed Star Citizen, but regardless, kind of seems like it. So anyways, guys, these are the top sellers currently for MMOs, okay? And as you can see, there's definitely some debate over what is an MMO, what isn't an MMO. Scrapes is an MMO. Yeah, I think Scrapes is an MMO. It's a programming MMO. It's like one of the only few MMO true RTSs as well. Crew, I think, is an MMO racing game. I actually own it, but I haven't played it. I don't know what the server limit is, but again, it seems like a whole lot of these are claiming to be MMOs, and some are not. And some, actually, guys, these games are not. It seems a lot of these are not self-proclaimed to be MMOs. A lot of these are just tagged as massively multiplayer online by other players, and so that's why they keep coming up. So yeah, just keep that in mind, guys. Anyways, so when you're looking through Steam and you're trying to look for an MMO, know that there's other places that you can go to actually find better information on actually MMOs. If you want massively multiplayer content, you might want to check out some of my other top 10s. But this top 10 is going to be used as a, I guess, controversial piece to just say, well, everything that says it's an MMO and what people might think is an MMO is totally, wholly different in massivity and in mechanics to what has historically and popularly been known previously as an MMO. So here we are, a bunch of new games that are selling hot and are getting notoriety as massively multiplayer when, in my opinion, they are not. I would love to know your opinion, though, guys. Thanks for staying tuned through this awkward top 10. I know it's weird, but I felt like it's something I wanted to do. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you have fun, guys. My name's Skylent, and I'll see you in the next one.